I have a 100-foot long 14 gauge extension cord that's perfectly fine, except for I just chopped right through it with a shovel, and now I need to install a new plug on the end. So independent on which plug or outlet you pick, super cheap all the way up to the cool new designs, you're gonna need to clean up your wires first. So we'll start off by cutting out the damaged end, starting with nice clean cut wires. Then we'll mark 1.5 inches to remove from the outside housing. This is where most DIYers make a mistake, cutting too deep to remove the housing. You just want to actually do a light score on the outside, and then to remove it, you'll just bend and you'll see it'll start to break free without actually damaging the insulation on the wires that are on the inside. So once you break that free, go ahead and check your wires, make sure no damage. Once you confirm that, then you'll mark about 5/8 of an inch to remove on insulation across our neutral, our ground, and our hot wires. Now make sure you're using the stranded side. This is not solid core wire, this is stranded wire, and for me it's 14. For you it might be 16 gauge, it might be 14 like me, or even a 12 gauge extension cord. Now once you remove that insulation, we'll go ahead and do a light twist to each one of the wires, and now we're ready to go, and we're ready to add our new plug. So first up, we're gonna go with this cheap looking orange one from Lowe's. It's about $4 and just has a single screw here that we'll undo with a Phillips head bit, and that'll separate the orange housing from the yellow plug. Now the screw terminals are wide open and they just have standard screws, and that's it. These will work okay with solid core wire, but not stranded wire. This is not recommended, but this is the way most DIYers would go ahead and connect that up. Needless to say, also the housing does not have strain relief, so you would be pulling that cord and it'd be pulling directly on the screw terminals. So overall, this is just a bad design and I do not recommend using this. So let's step things up. Let's put this one back and go to this yellow version. Looks a lot more robust, and this is for Home Depot for about the same price of $4. We'll undo the 3 screws on the top, separating the plug from the housing, and the Phillips head is not always the right solution. This one, actually, you should use a #1 square drive, which allows you to apply a lot more torque to that screw, and that's why it's nice to have a Klein Tools multi-bit like this one. You'll see a link in the description. Also, this QR code will bring you to all the tools and these plugs that we're using for your reference. And this design is looking a lot more promising, as it will actually pinch down on those wires as compared to that first one we saw. So not too bad. Now they are still wide open and exposed, which isn't always the best, but it is much more promising than the first one. So we'll go ahead and tighten those 3 screws to secure the plug to the housing, and then use our #1 square drive to cinch down the strain relief. And overall, it's looking pretty good. So I'm getting closer to finding my favorite. When it comes to cost, we're $4 for the no-go orange, $4 for a pretty promising one with the yellow. We're looking at about $11 with the next one, the industrial grade, and then all the way up to the new design, $13. The question is, do the features actually pay off? Is it worth going up? Here, the overall design, strain relief is going to be similar. And then although we do have better protection for each of the screw terminals, it is a similar plate design. The plate is more robust in there, but it's going to be a similar design. So the question is, on this $11 one, is it that much more durable compared to the $4 one? So let's put into the test, a little worksite test where we're dropping our bucket or putting our implements on the ground, and unfortunately our tool, or here our extension cord end, is underneath the bucket. Can it withstand it? Well, not for the first design here. We didn't love the wiring or strain relief, and it also failed the durability test. What about the $4, the yellow end? Much better from strain relief and wiring perspective. And we put the full pressure on, lifting the front tires, and looks pretty good. Made it through the test. And on to the more expensive $11. Now, you would expect this one to make it through the test if the $4 option made it through, and we put full pressure on it, rolled it around underneath that bucket, and overall, it came out really with just a few scratches. Now, what about our last option here from Leviton? Now, if these guys are wire nut equivalents, this version here would be similar to the Wago 221 lever nut that I'm so fond of for DIYers. Now, extremely easy to wire up with these levers. All you gotta do is pass your wire through your housing, Make sure your stranded wire is twisted, and then you can start landing white on white, your black hot on the black lever, and then you're just closing down those levers, and then that is what is making your secure connection. There's no exposed copper in there, very compact package. So overall, it is going to be quite a bit more expensive than your $4 option, which I think is a very good option, but there are some definite advantages with the lever design. But I do like where this design is going. As you guys know, I am a huge fan of Wago lever nuts. This is a similar design integrated into this replacement plug. Now let me know down in the comments what would be your go-to. I think I'm gonna go with the $4 yellow one. If the Leviton lever edge went down to maybe only 2 times the price, I do like this design a lot more, and I might go with that version. Now, before you take off, don't forget to see the link in the description or this QR code on the screen and get ahead of your 2025 home maintenance with our one-pager. You can hang it on the fridge, and we've integrated QR codes for an easy reference that will bring up the playlist for each of these different buckets, whether it's monthly maintenance, it's seasonal maintenance, or yearly maintenance, so you can go right to that task and get it knocked out as quickly as possible. Now, the weather is really changing here, and it's a great time to do projects around the house. Check out this video right here. I'll walk you through a complete retaining wall project, or if a shed is in your future, check out our most popular shed over on Everyday Shed, where we'll walk you through the complete DIY build process. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on that next one. Take care.